Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WCBN Sports live coverage of Michigan men's basketball. My name is Kelin Flynn, broadcasting to you live from the Barclays Center in the heart of Brooklyn, New York. The Michigan Wolverines rolled over the Pitt Panthers in the first round of the Legends Classic yesterday, 91-60, powered by a balanced scoring effort featuring 4 Wolverines in double figures. Michigan looks to continue their strong play into a championship matchup with the Arizona State Sun Devils. ASU is led by a familiar face in sophomore point guard Frankie Collins. Collins hit the transfer portal in late April and landed in Tempe May 5th. Many suspect his decision to transfer out of Ann Arbor was due to the addition of grad transfer point guard Jalen Llewellyn. Collins will no doubt be motivated to knock off his former team tonight. Coming off a big win against VCU last night, Arizona State is no doubt upset-minded. With that, I'd like to welcome in my partner, William Gregory, as we are moments away from tip-off here at the Barclays Center. And Dickinson taps it to the side. Llewellyn grabs the tip, and we are live and underway in the championship round of the Legends Classic here in Brooklyn. Bufkin swings it over to Llewellyn in the corner. He's poked at by Frankie Collins. Gets a screen from Dickinson. Llewellyn into the lane, and he's blocked from behind by Frankie Collins. Collins going to get out and run in transition. Jet Howard's there to meet him. Collins can't get it to go. Offensive rebound up for Devin Cambridge. Cambridge can't get the follow, and a shower of boos rained down as they're going to rule it stays with the Sun Devils. Collins to inbound. Collins finds his man. Shot up from the corner. Won't go for Desmond Cambridge. And Dickinson will board it and head the other way. Jet Howard on the dribble handoff into the corner. Step back, swing out to Dickinson. Dickinson rips a three. Dickinson can't get it to drop. Rebound to Devin Cambridge. Cambridge dishes it to Collins. Collins has it on the far wing. Drops it off for DJ Horn, the 6'1 junior. And it's Warren Washington, the 7-footer at the top of the key. He swings it over to Desmond Cambridge. Cambridge back up to the top for Collins. Shot clock at 10. Still knotted up at 0. Collins looking to make his move. Llewellyn defending. Nice crossover. Tries to get into the lane, and it's poked out by Kobe Bufkin. Bufkin takes it the other way. 2-on-1. Bufkin in transition. Can't get it to go. Rebound to Jet Howard. Howard slows it down for Michigan. Flips it back out to Dickinson. Dickinson to Bufkin. Bufkin, three-pointer, won't go. And neither team has been able to get a shot to fall through a minute and a half of play. It's Frankie Collins at the top of the key for Arizona State. He drops it off to Horn. Horn to Cambridge. Cambridge to Washington. Washington drops it off for Desmond Cambridge, and he goes up with it and is called for a foul. Crowd doesn't like that one. William, what'd you think of that foul call there?
I think it was a good foul. But I want to get back to Kobe Bufkin on that earlier possession, stealing the basketball, getting out in transition, but that's kind of the dual operation we see from Bufkin a lot. He'll make the good defensive play, but then struggle to make a play offensively. That's the secret weapon the Wolverines need. That's what they got at last night. They got a great performance by Bufkin with 14 points, but he needs to hit that three from the wing. He needs to hit that layup. And right now the Wolverines are down 2-0 after those 2 free throws by Arizona State.
Devin Cambridge sinks both of them. Or excuse me, Desmond Cambridge. They're twins. Or they're brothers. He sinks both. Up 2-0 now. Dickinson has it on the wing. Guarded by Washington. Gets him in the air. Dickinson tries to get inside. Nice defense by the Sun Devils. Jet Howard on the cross-court pass. Rips a three. Won't go. Collins boards it and will push it the other way. Frankie Collins has been all over the floor tonight. The athletic guard against his former team. It's Horn, guarded by Howard, steps back, pull up three, sinks it. DJ Horn steps it back and splashes from beyond the arc. It's 5-0 Sun Devils early.
And with the last 2 games we've called, and now this one, we've seen the Wolverines come off to these slow starts early. They need to be able to hit shots and play good defense in these early moments in order to come away with a victory.
Bufkin has it in the corner. He swings it up to Llewellyn. Llewellyn gets a screen from Dickinson into the lane. Kick out. Jet Howard, corner three, and he splashes it home. Jet Howard answers right back and makes a three over Desmond Cambridge, the 5th-year senior.
Took Michigan 4 shots from 3 to sink one. Finally got one to fall.
Whistle blows, and that'll be a foul on the Wolverines.
Michigan foul whistle on 13, Jet Howard.
That one called on Howard.
And Jet fouled out last night. He had a series of quick fouls to start that second half. Coach Juwan Howard does not want his son to pick up any quick ones in this game this early, only 3 minutes in.
At the top of the key, it's Horn. Horn has it poked away. Buffkin stays with him. Under 10 on the shot clock now as Horn just is able to cross half court. Horn makes a move. He'll pull up for another three. That one's off the front iron. Rebound by Washington. And Warren Washington sticks it on the follow. 7-3 in favor of the Sun Devils.
Nice job rebounding by Warren Washington. Nobody was there to meet him.
Dickinson sets a screen on Collins in the backcourt. Drops Frankie Collins. And Llewellyn is freed up and goes coast to coast to sink the layup. Wolverines answer right back. And 7-5.
We've seen Dickinson set that half-court pick a lot where he gets that guard to fall on the ground. I don't want to say it's personal, but that one probably meant more.
Pull-up three is good from Devin Cambridge. Cambridge, the Auburn transfer in his first season now with the Sun Devils under head coach Bobby Hurley. Llewellyn with a nice spin on Collins. Flips it out to Buffkin. Buffkin top of the key guarded by Horn into the lane. Forced to pick up his dribble. He's got Howard in the corner. Howard rips another corner three. Rims out. Rebound goes to Warren Washington, the 7-footer. DJ Horn has it on the wing. Pulls up from the top of the key, and he sinks again. DJ Horn. He's been feeling it early. 12-5 in favor of Arizona State.
He's another transfer in this Sun Devil lineup. He's in his second year here in Tempe. Previous two were at Illinois State. He's one of the veteran guards on this team that can lead it to its success.
And we hit the under 16 media timeout. Wolverines with possession. 12-5, Arizona State leads. William, the Wolverines continue to come out flat early in this season. What has Arizona State been doing that you've really liked?
They've been hitting their shots. 4 of 7 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Michigan didn't do a good job on that last possession down for the Sun Devils rebounding. Warren Washington got right inside the paint, under the rim, picked up a rebound, put it back up. And the Sun Devils simply have just flatly outplayed the Wolverines. Michigan shooting 2 of 7 from the field, 1 of 5 from 3. The three-point shots have been open. Michigan just hasn't been hitting them. And we saw them struggle to hit the long ball early in the game against Pitt last night. They heated up in the second half, shooting 7 of 9 to finish the game from 3. That certainly raised their percentages up, but early in these games, the Wolverines on both sides of the floor have not been playing well. And that is a worrying trend as we get closer and closer to the start of the true regular season in Big Ten play. For head coach Juwan Howard, he needs to get that under control because you can't go to Madison, you can't go to Columbus and let up 10 easy points and be down by 7 5 minutes into the game.
And William, you're right about that. When you get into Big Ten play, it's really difficult to have these slow starts and be able to make the comeback the Wolverines have so far this season. Even against Pitt last night, Michigan started off slow and were obviously able to come back and off some hot shooting in the second half, handled the Panthers easily.
And now what Michigan hopes is after that first timeout in the Pitt game, they came out guns blazing. It took them one timeout to regroup, gather themselves, and play better basketball. Hopefully for Wolverines fans, that's what comes out of this timeout, down by 7. Same sort of timing, about 5.5 minutes into this game. And the Michigan coaching staff, we know the adjustments they've been able to make in their tenure here. Coach Martelli, Coach Washington, obviously Coach Howard. They have proven that they can step up in moments like this, make some small adjustments, some tweaks, come back out onto the floor looking better.
And you're right, William, this is a very experienced Michigan coaching staff. You have a number of years, a plethora of basketball knowledge in that mind of Phil Martelli, and then Sadie Washington, been with the Wolverines through the Beeline era, and then obviously the head coach Juwan Howard with that NBA experience, being a part of the Miami Heat culture, trying to bring that to Michigan. Wolverines will inbound from the far sideline. Jet Howard throws it into Llewellyn. Llewellyn at that Legends Classic logo. Dribbles down, dump off to Dickinson, won't go. Buffkin unable to corral the that was Terrence Williams unable to corral the offensive board. And the Sun Devils take possession.
Out of that timeout, it's a smart idea to try and run a play for Hunter Dickinson, your team's best player. He's scoreless 5 minutes into this game. He didn't light up the scoreboard last night, even though he lit up the stat sheet. He had almost a triple-double. If that game was serious down the stretch, he could have kept playing. He had 7 rebounds and 5 assists, only 11 points compared to the 31 he finished with at Little Caesars Arena last Friday. They need to get Hunter Dickinson involved in this game. And, I mean, more players than that, given they've only scored 5 points.
Collins swings it back to Collins now. Frankie Collins, not an elite three-point shooter, so don't expect him to pull it from deep often. But Desmond Cambridge, boy, can he stroke it. He sinks his second three of the night, and that puts the Sun Devils up 10, 15-5. Jalen Llewellyn dribbles along that into that corner on the far side. Dickinson, nice spin move from Hunter Dickinson, but he can't finish the dunk. Hunter Dickinson had the dunk, couldn't finish it with one hand, and he's going to be kicking himself about that one. Missed opportunity for Michigan.
And his man, Warren Washington, he is a 7-footer, but Dickinson looks stronger than Washington. He looks thicker, and I think that's a play the Wolverines are willing to take, a spin move in the post, attempting a dunk, almost a posterizer, but Dickinson rims out on it.
Llewellyn throws it into Terrence Williams. Williams to Jet Howard. Back to Williams at the top of the key. Swings it back to Howard. Howard into Dickinson, and Frankie Collins came flying in there looking for the steal. He's called for the foul on the gamble.
Arizona State foul whistle on number 10, Frankie.
And that's his first foul of the afternoon, the evening.
Team foul number
Late evening here, 9:30 tip.
It's been a long day for us at WCBN Sports, traveling all around New York as the Wolverines flip it into Howard. Howard pulls a three, and he splashes another one. Jet Howard, he's been really shooting it well from deep to start this season. Splashed a couple of them last night and made a few more against Eastern Michigan. He continues to shoot it well for Michigan. And boy, oh boy, the shots weren't falling early, but DJ Horn splashes home another one from deep. No points in the first minute 30, and just like that, neither team can miss from downtown. Horn has 2 threes.
And Michigan had problems with those three-point shooting guards of Pitt in the first half. They'll need to ratchet down that defense.
Bufkin swings it out to Terrence Williams. Williams has it, defended by Cambridge. Llewellyn gets a screen from Dickinson. He'll pull up for 3. Won't go, but he draws the foul behind the arc. He'll head to the line for 3 chances at the charity stripe. Warren Washington came out just a bit too far, and he got underneath Llewellyn's shooting space. These are big chances for Michigan, and we've already alluded to it, but Michigan has been dreadful from the free throw line early this season, and those woes continue as Jalen Llewellyn not even close on that first one. Missed it far to the right. The Wolverines have to shoot better from the line if they want to be a successful team this season. Terrace Reed at the scorer's table for Michigan as Llewellyn, the graduate transfer point guard, misses a second one from the line.
This team, the Wolverines, right now shooting 64% from the line coming into this game, not with these 2 misses. They rank 283rd in Division I basketball, near the absolute bottom. These are free points that the Wolverines have consistently been giving up. Now they're undefeated, but again, these worrying trends when it comes to playing tougher Big Ten opponents are extremely not good.
Llewellyn makes the third, goes 1 for 3 from the line. Wolverines down 9, 18-9. And against Eastern Michigan, that was one of the stories of that game. The Wolverines let the Eagles hang around for a long time due to a lot of missed foul shots. It's Cambridge. Off the dribble handoff to Collins. Collins makes a nice move. He's guarded by Howard. Some real fancy dribbling from Collins. Dumps it off inside. And that's Duke Brennan finishing the freshman forward. Nice feed there from Frankie Collins. No look dump down. Doug McDaniel, freshman point guard for the Wolverines, has checked in for Llewellyn. Terrace Reed catches the jump ball, and he is swatted at the rim. Now, Alonzo Gaffney, the Ohio State transfer, rejected that one. Foul called on Brennan, but there was no way that ball was going in the basket.
On that defensive trip down, back down the floor, Frankie Collins was smiling at Doug McDaniel. He made a nice play, nice couple crossovers on the baseline, dumps it off to Brennan. Brennan hits the shot. Collins wants this. He made an early defensive play on the first possession of this game to block a shot, missed a shot on the other end, but he really wants to show this Michigan coaching staff that they didn't need to bring in Jalen Llewellyn. Frankie Collins was enough.
And Collins has looked sharp early as Terrace Reed misses his first free throw, makes the second. The Wolverines 2 for 5 at the free throw line. Early, these woes continue from the charity stripe. It's Cambridge to Collins at the top. Collins finds Luther Muhammad, another Ohio State transfer. He'll pull up off a nice crossover and sink it over the freshman Terrace Reed. This Arizona State team has came out and flat out made shots early. The Wolverines have gotten punched in the mouth. We're going to see how they respond as Collins comes away with a steal, and he stepped out of bounds. Very high energy from Arizona State, and that is led by Frankie Collins. He is all over the floor, very springy. We saw that last year when he was at Michigan. He's a real twitchy guard, great explosiveness.
And it's not just that Collins is playing with a fire in this game. He's averaged 16 points per game coming into this one compared to 2 his previous season at Michigan.
McDaniel into the lane, flips it up, doesn't even hit the rim. Rebound by Gaffney. They said he stepped out of bounds. Michigan just in no rhythm offensively. And with no Dickinson or Llewellyn on the floor, somebody's got to give them direction. Howard tries to free up Bufkin with the off-ball screen. Bufkin has it at the top of the key. He's defended by Luther Muhammad. Bufkin into the lane. Tough shot. Can't get it to go. Rebound goes to Terrace Reed on the deck. He flips it out to Williams. Williams in and out dribble move into the lane. Can't even hit rim on his shot at the rim. Offensive rebound kicked out to Howard. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Howard going to go ISO here. 6, 5, 4, 3. Crossover. Dump inside to Reed. And Reed can't make the layup. Great defense inside by the Sun Devils. Foul called late. Michigan just looks out of sorts offensively. This defense for Arizona State's been suffocating, and that's been their calling card this season.
Well, we watched VCU the end of that game against Pitt tonight. VCU was held without a field goal for what, 9 minutes at the end of that game?
The last 8 minutes and 58 seconds, VCU did not have a field goal. 22-7 scoring run in favor of the Sun Devils to come back and win that game.
That's not the kind of boa constrictor the Wolverines want to be tied up with.
Absolutely not. 3 won't go for Cambridge. McDaniel's going to push it in transition. Kicks out to Bufkin. Bufkin at the elbow to Howard in the corner. He's guarded by Cambridge. Howard spinning. Posts up, fadeaway Jay. He can't get it to fall. Howard's been the only one to get anything going offensively, and he can't find it there. Luther Muhammad pushes in transition. He's guarded by Bufkin. Flips it up to the top of the key. That's Austin Nunez, the freshman. He had heavy minutes last night and played really well against VCU. Top of the key, Gaffney. Gaffney back to Nunez. Nunez gets a screen from Gaffney. He'll pull up for 3 and sink it. Tough shot from the freshman Austin Nunez, and he sinks it. The Wolverines have no idea what to do here. They're down 15, 25-10. Jet Howard into the lane. His shot won't go. Suffocating defense by Duke Brennan. Rebound by Terrace Reed. Reed tries to go up with it and is fouled.
Well,
and we'll hit the under 12 media timeout. Reed will shoot his free throws after the break. William, what's going on for Michigan right now?
They can't hit anything, and Arizona State's hitting everything. That's really about it. Michigan, like you've said this whole time, it's not just earlier, before that timeout at the 15-minute mark, Michigan was missing shots. Now they're just playing erratically, throwing shots at the rim, hoping that they'll get close to the backboard, but really nothing's going. Doug McDaniel, we saw flashes last night towards the end of that second half. In the first half, he still seemed like a freshman, which he is, but Michigan needs that second unit to be able to play under control. We haven't seen Joey Baker. He hit 4 threes last night. I think you need to get him into this game and get him active, but I'm not really sure what's going on for the Wolverines right now, other than they've just been unable to hit shots. 3 of 16 from the field, and they've been unable to stop the shot making of the Sun Devils. Some of them have been tough shots, but just a bad bit of luck, really. I mean, Arizona State's going to regress to the mean. They're shooting way better than any team eventually does shoot, but they're 8 of their last 9 from the field, so
and
that's bound to change.
Michigan's 0 for their last 6, 1 for their last 10, 2-minute, 20-second scoring drought. So you'd expect that to change, but how much? 10:55 to go in the first half. Wolverines down 25-10. It's been all Sun Devils. About 10 minutes in, 9 minutes in, from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Frankie Collins has looked very solid early for the Sun Devils. He came to Tempe to be the guy for Arizona State, and he's looked the part so far. Juwan Howard's got to make some adjustments here in this timeout. Find a way to crack this tough Sun Devil defense. Bobby Hurley has drawn up an excellent game plan so far to neutralize the Wolverines, and his players are executing it to a T. Interesting that Hunter Dickinson has seen limited minutes so far. I'd expect to see some of him back in this game sooner rather than later. And like Williams said, Joey Baker, a shooter for the Wolverines that had a nice game last night, and he appears to have checked in for Michigan. Nice call there from my partner. Dickinson at the scorer's table, likely coming in for Terrace Reed, the foul shooter.
And you said it last night, Michigan was shooting badly from the free throw line. You said head coach Juwan Howard needs to keep the Wolverines here all night. They're shooting 2 for 5 right now, 2 for 6 as Reed misses the first free throw. They might have to be here as long as we are.
It's just baffling to me that with how poor they've been, this has not been a trend in the Juwan Howard era. And Reed goes 0 for 2 at the stripe. The Wolverines cannot buy a bucket from the foul line. Nunez has it defended by McDaniel. And Luther on the wing. Baker defending. Back to Nunez. They get the switch. McDaniel able to switch back. Bufkin defending Horn in the corner. Horn steps back to Nunez. They get the switch with Bufkin on Nunez. Nunez into the lane. Tough shot. Got it to go. A little one-arm push shot from Austin Nunez, and the freshman has been lighting it up on the big stage at the Barclays Center.
Took Michigan a long time to get this type of lead against Pitt. Bad news to see it with less than 10 minutes played in the first half.
Bufkin into the lane, too strong on the layup, and it's boarded by Arizona State. Nunez will push it the other direction. Doug McDaniel defending. On the wing, it's Horn. Top of the key, it's Gaffney. Back to Nunez. Gets a screen from Brennan. Nice spin move there. Kick out to Luther. Muhammad into the lane, and Luther Muhammad finishes a tough layup. Arizona State cannot miss right now. 11-1 run for the Sun Devils. Timeout for Michigan. And if the Wolverines don't get this straightened out soon, this could get ugly here in Brooklyn. Michigan 0-3 all-time against Arizona State. The last matchup coming in the Maui Invitational in 1994. Arizona State went on to win that tournament. Looking to continue their trend against the Wolverines here.
I mean, these two teams could not be at more opposite places right now. The Wolverines, 1 of their last 11 from the field. Arizona State, 10 of their last 11 from the field. Inverse relationships there, and it's killing Michigan. Down 19 points halfway through the first half. They already have 2 more turnovers than they did one more turnover than they did all of last night. They only had 1 turnover. It's just bad.
And it's troubling for Michigan that it's not just one guy for Arizona State, it's everyone. Horn has 8, Muhammad has 4, Nunez with 5, Cambridge with 5.
Luther Muhammad was a guy who only played 7 minutes last night.
McDaniel at the top of the key finds Jet Howard. Back to McDaniel. Defended by Nunez. He's on that far wing. Gets a screen from Hunter Dickinson. McDaniel steps it back. Howard, he'll pull a 3. Quick trigger, just a bit long there. Rebound goes to Horn. And that was a tough shot for Jet Howard. He ripped that quickly. Suffocating defense continues from the Sun Devils. Luther Muhammad at the top of the key finds Horn. Horn left open by the Wolverines. He'll pull it. Can't get it to drop. Baker's rebound is knocked away by Duke Brennan, but a whistle blows. Foul on the freshman forward for Arizona State.
And that was a really good rebound by Joey Baker. He really jumped over the freshman Brennan without getting called for an over-the-back foul. Took that rebound away, and the only reason why he didn't get back down the floor with it was he was called for a foul.
Full court pressure from Arizona State. Dickinson at the top of the key now as Michigan breaks the light press. McDaniel has it, gets a screen from Dickinson. He'll pull up from the top of the key, won't go. Rebound for Arizona State. Luther Muhammad pushing it up the floor. Swinging it around. Nunez open in the corner, and he's a bit short there. Rebound goes to Warren Washington. Washington puts it in the corner with Gaffney. Gaffney back out to Nunez. The freshman's been excellent so far for Arizona State. He's into the lane. That one-arm push shot again, short. But another rebound for Warren Washington, and the Sun Devils get another crack at it. Pull-up jumper from Horn won't go, and Baker finally corrals a rebound for Michigan, and the Wolverines can push the other direction. McDaniel guarded by Gaffney into the lane, spins it back, flips out to Howard, inside for Dickinson. Dickinson has it, he's doubled, goes up with it, and is called for a foul. Bobby Hurley's irate on that Arizona State sideline.
It looked like a soft foul on Dickinson, but finally gets to the line, and Hunter scoreless so far, only one rebound too. Gets a chance to get going, but Arizona State on that last possession, Michigan did a nice job defensively. They let up some open shots, but Arizona State couldn't hit any of them, couldn't get their own rebounds, and Michigan gets Arizona State to miss as many shots on that possession as they had the whole game.
Hunter Dickinson misses his first free throw. Michigan 2 of 8 from the free throw line as Frankie Collins checks back in for Arizona State. Llewellyn still on the bench. Dickinson splits them at the line, goes 1 for 2, cutting the lead to 18. Still 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Arizona State already with 29 points. It's Devin Cambridge to Warren Washington at the top of the key. Coming around the dribble handoff is Horn. Horn, tough shot, got it to go over Isaiah Barnes. DJ Horn with an acrobatic finish around the rim. Screen in the backcourt. The Wolverines like to do that when there's some full court pressure. Nice crossover there by Doug McDaniel going around the Dickinson screen. Barnes in the corner. Back to McDaniel, 16 on the shot clock. Jet Howard top of the key. Dickinson comes with a screen. He's guarded by Collins. Howard steps it back, gets Collins in the air. Dickinson inside, guarded by the 7-footer Washington. Dickinson muscling around inside, can't get it to drop, and Dickinson puts it right back up and sinks it for Michigan. The Wolverines' first basket in what seems like an eternity.
It's been a while.
The Wolverine crowd getting on their feet here tonight, trying to create some energy for their team. Nunez, corner J, it's good. And that quiets the Wolverine faithful. And the Sun Devil fans have the forks up. Nunez, the freshman, makes it 34-13.
In a game where the Wolverines are down by 18, that was the most crowd noise we've heard all tournament long.
Pass out by McDaniel is stolen in transition. Corner, Nunez fakes it, steps it back. Nunez, short. Rebound goes to Dickinson. And the Wolverines able to take it back. McDaniel into the lane. McDaniel floats it up and over the outstretched arm of Warren Washington. McDaniel's first bucket of the night. Wolverines finding a little bit of rhythm offensively now, but it hasn't mattered with the hot shooting from the Sun Devils. Collins into the lane, over Dickinson, won't go. He hits the deck looking for a foul. In transition, Jet Howard. Washington right there with him. Some contact, no foul called. Howard sinks it anyways, and the Wolverines have some life. 34-17, 5:57 to go in the first half.
Warren Washington almost recovered on defense to be able to affect that shot to the point where Jet Howard missed it. I think Warren Washington has been playing excellent defense inside. He's quieted Hunter Dickinson. Dickinson got that one bucket a possession ago. and Howard gets the bucket over him there. Not much you can do in transition in that situation on a one-man fast break, but Warren Washington for the Sun Devils played well. Obviously, we've talked about their offensive capabilities, but Michigan battling back after being down by a whole lot, still down by 17. Biggest lead of the game so far for Arizona State has been 21. Last 5:57 in the first half. It needs to be all Michigan if they want any shot to come out with this game.
And there's still a lot of basketball left tonight. But like you said, William, Dickinson's 1 for 5, and a lot of that has to do with the stout defense from Warren Washington on the inside. And Arizona State is not a team that's been lighting up the scoreboard offensively. It took a big comeback to beat VCU last night. Frankie Collins led the way with 15. They were only 36% from the field, under 24% from three last night with 12 turnovers. Tonight, it's been red hot shooting. 56.5% from the field, 50% from three on volume, and they haven't missed a free throw yet.
And Michigan is one of those teams that scores in bunches. They're averaging 85 points per game, about in the top 50 nationally. On track right now, I'd say for, 50 points in this game. By far their lowest scoring output of the season. Something that head coach of the Pitt Panthers, Jeff Capel, said last night in his post-game interview was that without Hunter Dickinson scoring, the Wolverines shoot about 38% from the field on the season so far. Dickinson is at 75% from the field. Obviously not in this game, 1 for 5, but that just illustrates that without Dickinson hitting shots, the Wolverines get into tough stretches offensively where it's tough for them to be able to find shots for their other creators. Jet Howard has stepped up to be that secondary guy, but beyond him, they really need more consistent offense from the surrounding players. Early shots from Kobe Buffkin didn't fall. Doug McDaniel hit a layup, but he's made some costly plays on offense. And Michigan needs it outside of Hunter Dickinson. They can't go far this season if they're not a complete team and they're a one-man show.
And interestingly enough, this is the first time all season Dickinson's been matched up against another 7-footer. He's had the height advantage by a significant margin in every other game so far this season. The long wingspan and 7-foot frame of Warren Washington giving Dickinson fits early tonight. Still a lot of ball left for the Wolverines to turn things around and flip the script. And Juwan Howard's instituting some three-quarter court pressure here to try to throw a wrench in this hot Sun Devil offense. Collins with it. He's defended by Jet Howard at the top of the key at that Vivid Seats Legends Classic logo. In the corner now it's Horn to Cambridge. Cambridge spinning, Barnes defending. Ball hits the floor and Cambridge is able to recover. Collins into the lane, kick out to Desmond Cambridge, and it's an offensive foul. Isaiah Barnes, the sophomore, checks into the game and sets his feet nicely on the defensive side of the floor.
And Arizona State had Cambridge wide open in the corner. That shot would have gone in if Collins wasn't called for the charge. Frankie's got no points tonight, but he does have 5 assists. That could have been his 6th. Nice play by Barnes.
Talk about not necessarily scoring, but still impacting the game in a big way. With the amount of times we've called Frankie Collins' name tonight, you wouldn't guess he'd be scoreless. Baker at the wing, flips it to Jet Howard. Howard trying to find Dickinson. He's walled off by Washington. They flip it around to Baker and get it into Dickinson. They try to bring the double, and Dickinson spins away from the double team. Little left-handed baby hook for 2.
And Dickinson had been going the other way in the post for most of this game. Fools Washington. Washington walled him off the other way. Easy pickings.
Nunez, the freshman, flips it to Horn. Horn guarded by Dickinson. Tries to pull up from the baseline. Won't go. Rebound to Joey Baker. And the Wolverines with a little bit of life here as they find Howard. Howard into the lane. Nice Euro step. Flips it up. Won't go. Dickinson, rebound. Blocked by Washington. Warren Washington comes flying in for the rejection. Crowd wants a goaltend. They won't get it. Cambridge pulls up over Barnes. Won't go. And that hot shooting for Arizona State cooling down just a little bit. Llewellyn guarded by Nunez. Forced to go around a Dickinson screen. Baker, he'll pull a 3. Won't go. Rebound goes to Devin Cambridge. And the Sun Devils are going to slow it down here. Cambridge over to Horn. Back to his brother Desmond Cambridge, and they'll give it to Nunez. Nunez works around a screen from Washington into the lane. Llewellyn guarding. He hits the deck but stays on his feet. Washington up over Llewellyn. Can't get it to drop. The guard able to affect the 7-footer shot there, and Llewellyn will push the other direction. He's going to test the waters against Nunez, the freshman, and Llewellyn slips and falls out of bounds. Nice defense from the freshman guard for Arizona State. 3:42 to go here in the first half. Arizona State 34, Michigan 19. We hit the under 4 immediate timeout. William, that Michigan offense getting a little bit of life here.
Well, they failed to make shots over the past minute when they got defensive stops. And I said at about 6 minutes left in the first half, now we're at 3:45. It needed to be all Michigan down the stretch to end the first half. They held up on the defensive side of the floor. Offensively, they hit one shot for 2 points, missed a couple more. Joey Baker went wide on a 3. They just haven't been able to play complete in this game. It's been disparate parts working towards some sort of goal, but they can't come together. They will need to come together if they hope to pull back within single digits, down by 15 right now.
And with 3:42 to go, the Wolverines need to find a spark offensively. Warren Washington's interior presence has been felt tonight by Michigan.
What a block by him on that play. That was a really nice defensive play. A lot of Wolverines fans wanted a goaltend, but I'm not sure if that really was. I think it was still going up. He just skied so high that people couldn't believe it.
Michigan needs to find a spark offensively. The Sun Devils defense has been suffocating. Great team defense. It's not just one guy. They're closing off all opportunities for Michigan. And a lot of that credit has to go to Bobby Hurley, the head coach, drawing up an excellent defensive game plan. Sun Devil team that they didn't have a great season last year, looking to bounce back with an influx of talent from the transfer portal. A couple of Big Ten guys heading out west. Luther Muhammad, the Ohio State transfer. Alonzo Gaffney, his teammate at Ohio State, headed to Tempe as well. And then obviously Frankie Collins, the former Michigan man. Still a lot of basketball left here from the Barclays Center, but it's been all Sun Devils so far. 3:42 to go in the first half. William, what are you looking for from Michigan out of this timeout?
They got to make shots. They're 7 of 26 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3, 3 of 9 from the free throw line. That's a lot of misses. There needs to be more makes. I wish I could offer more in-depth analysis than that, but not much else other than shot making and shot defending for the Wolverines to get back into this game.
And it's been tough to find good shots for Michigan as Bufkin checks back into the game. He's somebody that can create his own shot. Nunez still on the court for Arizona State. He's been excellent. Little fall away Jay there from Cambridge. Devin Cambridge sinks it from just beyond the charity stripe. 2 more for the Sun Devils, 36-19. Llewellyn, guarded by Nunez, flips it to Dickinson. Dickinson, guarded by Brennan. With Washington out of the game, Bufkin, pull up mid-range shot, can't get it to go, just a bit long there, rebound to Devin Cambridge. Cambridge pushes the other direction, flips it back to Nunez. Boy, has this freshman Nunez been impressive so far as he finds Luther Muhammad. Muhammad over to Brennan, back to Nunez. They're making this Michigan defense work. Desmond Cambridge splashes a 3 in the face of Jet Howard. And the hot shooting continues for the Sun Devils. 2:40 to go. It's 42-19. Excuse me, 39-19. Baker fouled in the corner there from beyond the arc. He'll go to the line for 3. Michigan's got to make free throws, flat out.
And that's the truth. Baker did get fouled on there, but he was going to be off on that 3-pointer. It hit the side of the backboard.
Joey Baker at the line
we'll see how he fares at the line, but I don't know, with last night's performance scoring 91 points, how a team can come out so flat in only 1 day's time as Baker misses the first free throw.
And Joey Baker's a guy that you'd rely on to be and assume would be successful at the charity stripe. He shot it well at Duke from the free throw line. The transfer rattles the second one home. Michigan cuts the lead to 19.
And this is not what the Wolverines needed in these last minutes of the first half. They needed to be closer than this.
Baker sinks the second free throw. He goes 2 for 3 at the line. Baker, a career 81% free throw shooter at Duke. Goes 2 for 3 there. Step back jumper from Cambridge, sinks it. Desmond Cambridge has been red hot. Like much of the rest of this Sun Devil team. He has 10, tied with Horn for the team lead. Llewellyn, defended by Nunez. Nunez goes under a Dickinson screen, and Llewellyn pulls it up, won't go. Rebound goes to Devin Cambridge. Nunez, top of the key, guarded by Llewellyn. Under 2 minutes to go. They find Desmond Cambridge. On the dribble handoff, inside to Brennan. Brennan called for the walk there. Chopped his feet too much in the lane. 41-21. Sun Devils up big here in the first half. And Michigan got punched in the mouth early and hasn't been able to respond in the way Michigan faithful would like. Still a lot of basketball left, but something's got to change quick. Llewellyn, his pass is deflected out of bounds. Desmond Cambridge said his name a lot early.
And that play there was emblematic of the Wolverines' problems tonight. Llewellyn, a slower pass to the right wing. Cambridge right there to swat that ball away. Arizona State has been playing with more energy. Michigan a bit slow on offense.
Llewellyn met by Nunez. And they've just not been able to get it into Dickinson as they find him there. Dickinson guarded by Duke Brennan, the freshman forward. They bring 2 more defenders, and it forces a turnover. Nunez pushing in transition. Oh, nice pump fake there from Nunez. He'll pull up and sink it. Austin Nunez, the freshman, has been nothing short of electric here from Brooklyn off the bench. Got Kobe Buffkin in the air and then sunk it off the fake. Foul called on the other end on Arizona State. Wolverines will inbound from the sideline. Nunez with 11, 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. Sun Devils shooting at 57% on the long ball tonight. And they'll go to the bonus for Michigan. Officials make a correction there.
I mean, I really don't know what to say. Any energy that Frankie Collins brought into this game as a former Wolverine has extended to every single Sun Devil. They're all playing with that kind of same swagger of a player with a chip on their shoulder playing a former ex-team.
Jet Howard sinks the first free throw for Michigan. And you said it, William. Frankie Collins' energy has been infectious as Howard goes 2 for 2 from the line, cutting the lead to 21.
First time we've heard that sentence in a long time.
Nunez has been just electric so far for Arizona State. Horn's been great as well. Cambridge has been exceptional. Horn defended by Buffkin. Into the lane, nice pass to Duke Brennan. Brennan spinning on Dickinson, flips it up, gets it to go. Doesn't matter who you are, if you've got that Arizona Sun Devil uniform on, you're getting shots to fall. Llewellyn with it at the top of the key, defended by Nunez. He has nowhere to go. Inside to Dickinson, guarded by Brennan. Brennan hits the deck, and it's a blocking foul. Dickinson wants the bucket to count. They won't give it to him. Trying to get the Wolverine faithful on their feet here in Brooklyn. But the energy is just not there with the Wolverines down 21.
It looks like they are going to give him that bucket.
And they do count it. They'll give him the and one there. Got the continuation. Dickinson completes the three-point play. And it's a 20-point game, 46-26.
Alonzo Gaffney back for Arizona State.
Gaffney checks back in for the Sun Devils. And heavy minutes early from Austin Nunez. Frankie Collins still on the bench. Under 30 seconds to go here in the first half. Nunez defended by Jalen Llewellyn. It's Muhammad to his right and Horn to his left. Dribble handoff to Horn, then they flip it to Muhammad. Muhammad flips it back to Nunez. Gets a screen from Gaffney. Nunez into the lane. Tough shot, won't get it to go. 10 seconds, Wolverines got to go quick here. Howard in transition. Pulls it back. Inside to Dickinson. Tough pass, but he hauls it in. Dickinson doubled. Llewellyn on the drive. Flips it up and flips it in as the buzzer sounds. Jalen Llewellyn with an acrobatic finish to end the half for Michigan. Cutting the lead to 18. Jalen Llewellyn gets in the lane and puts a little English on that one. Gets it to fall. Through one half of play, it's 46-28 Arizona State. It's been all Sun Devils through 20 minutes of play, and that's been thanks to some red-hot shooting from beyond the arc. They're 8 of 14 from behind the three-point line, William.
I think it goes without saying that this outcome of the first half was not what anyone predicted. Not only the Wolverines have been liable to give up a big number in the first half or a good offensive performance. I think Pitt shot better than they should have in that first half last night. They scored 33 points and a half. Eastern Michigan put up 45 at Little Caesars Arena in that first half. Now Arizona State hits so many shots to put up 46 points, but with how we saw VCU play Arizona State last night and how VCU played Pitt tonight, how Michigan played Pitt, I thought this game was going to be a runaway job for the Wolverines based on the transitive property, and the transitive property isn't always correct in sports, but Michigan came back better in the last 5 minutes of that first half offensively than they had been, but you can't do much better than, or you can't do much worse than how they were shooting before. It was down to 19% at one point in the first half, but Michigan has not been able to guard Arizona State on the other end, especially in that last bit of the first half. Arizona State was stepping into wide open shots and nailing them.
And the story of the game has to be the red-hot shooting from Arizona State. They've been a really good defensive team so far this season, and it was easy to anticipate coming into this game that the Wolverines might have some struggles to find good shots offensively, especially with the 7-footer on the other side for Arizona State in Warren Washington to match up against Dickinson. The quick guards have been playing passing lanes and making it tough for Michigan's guards to get into the lane. They've been winning those one-on-one matchups on the outside.
Most definitely, and Michigan seems like they haven't been running a lot of sets on offense. It's been a lot of isolation plays, trying to get the ball into Hunter Dickinson, which works most of the time, but when you're playing against a 7-footer, Michigan has been unable to get that ball out, especially when a double team comes, which both Pitt and Arizona State have done. Pitt did it towards the end of the game against Hunter Dickinson, and that neutralized him a good bit, but Michigan was able to hit outside shots on those outlet passes from Dickinson, but now they haven't been able to do that, haven't been able to keep the ball in the hands of their own players. They've had already more turnovers than last night, 4 more, 5 in the first half here. Dickinson has had some butterfingers in the post a little bit, trying to corral entry passes. And outside of that, there's not really been a dependable option for Michigan tonight.
Well, with that, we'll head for about a 10-minute break as Juwan Howard and his coaching staff look to make some tweaks in the locker room. Bobby Hurley and his staff likely trying to keep the energy high and let his players know how good of a job they did in that first half. We'll be back for coverage of the second half in about 10 minutes. And we are back for WCBN's live coverage of Michigan men's basketball here from the Barclays Center. Wolverines, tough first half, down 46-28. Hot shooting from the Sun Devils. William Gregory, here's my partner. I'm Kelin Flynn. William, in that first half, what happened there for Michigan?
Well, if you saw our Twitter, the WCBN Sports Twitter, at WCBN Sports, we made a couple promotional videos. We toured the city of New York today, and we went to the Central Park Zoo first. We compared a snow leopard to the game of Kobe Buffkin. We said a snow leopard, silent but deadly, sneaks up on you, gets you at inopportune times. That's what, up to this point, Buffkin had been playing like. Right now he's 0 for 5, and really we should have been comparing it to Austin Nunez, who's 4 for 8 from the field with 11 points for Arizona State. Next, we went to a Grizzly Bear exhibit, compared that to Hunter Dickinson's game. Really, Warren Washington for Arizona State has played like a Grizzly Bear today. Finally, Grand Central Station in the heart of Manhattan. We talked about Jalen Llewellyn, the starting point guard for Michigan, being a train conductor, guiding the offense, moving pieces, everyone's moving around. That's been Frankie Collins for the Sun Devils tonight, and his 5 assists. Michigan needs to become those zoo animals. Jalen Llewellyn needs to become a train conductor. They're down by 18 points. They got to come back.
Arizona State starts with the ball. Sideline out of bounds into Frankie Collins. Collins guarded by Llewellyn at that midcourt logo. They flip it to Devin Cambridge. Cambridge to his brother Desmond, running that action on the perimeter to, and that's a pull-up shot there for Horn. Horn had a hot first half with 10 points. Other direction, Llewellyn. He'll pull up for three. Collins tries to get a contest, and it's good enough. Shot is off, rebounded by Desmond Cambridge. He has a easy lane in transition to the basket, but a tough shot won't go. Good contest there by Jet Howard. Got in the way of that one. Collins weaving around the lane. Makes a great move to get by Terrence Williams, and Collins is in the scorebooks with his first bucket of the night. It's Llewellyn. 19-10 to go here in the game. Finds Dickinson. Dickinson with a nice pass to Kobe Buffkin, and Buffkin just cannot hold on. Hunter Dickinson rifled that in there to a cutting Kobe Buffkin. The lane was wide open. Buffkin saw it. Dickinson did too. Buffkin just can't hold on, and yet another mistake for the Wolverines. There's a reason they're down 20 tonight. Perimeter action for Arizona State. In motion, they find Frankie Collins into the lane. Little floater won't go. Rebound corralled by Llewellyn. Llewellyn in transition finds Williams. Wolverines get it to Dickinson inside. Dickinson pump fakes and finishes. Got Horn in the air and finished through over the outstretched arms of Warren Washington. Wolverines now with 30. Frankie Collins has it. Horn at the top of the key gets a screen from Washington. Horn got a lot of space there and sinks the pull-up J at the elbow. DJ Horn had plenty of space to fire that one off. Miscommunication there on the screen defensively for Michigan. Llewellyn, 18 on the game clock. Finds Howard, back to Llewellyn at the Vivid Seats logo. Crossover. Dickinson, top of the key. Howard fakes the handoff, goes to the cup, draws the foul on Washington. Warren Washington. That's his second of the contest.
Second personal. First.
And Hunter Dickinson will head to the line. Wolverines 53% in the first half from the charity stripe. Continuing their poor showing this season from the line. Is that a trend that's going to stick all season or just an anomaly? Will yet to be seen. Howard. Pure on the first. The Wolverines in that game against Pitt struggled at times in the first half, but really got it going in the second half. Some hot shooting. Joey Baker came on the floor and really sparked it up for the Wolverines as Howard sinks the second free throw. Somebody has to be a catalyst for Michigan tonight. 18-point game, and Jet Howard has some blood on his jersey. So the Michigan athletic training staff will get that cleaned up with a quick pause in the action.
And we talk a lot about Michigan drawing free throws. They're a pretty good team in getting attempts per game at about 100th, in the top 33% of Division I. So it's kind of a shame that they've had these free throw shooting woes because they are a good team at drawing fouls. You look at their 17 free throw attempts this game, Arizona State only has 2.
And this Wolverine offense has struggled tonight to find good shots and make shots. Desmond Cambridge on the wing, guarded by Howard, up to Collins. Collins to the opposite wing to DJ Horn. Horn to midcourt. Back to Cambridge, back to Collins on the opposite wing. Collins rifles a pass picked off by Kobe Buffkin, the former backcourt mates at Michigan. And it's a turnover there. Buffkin at midcourt, straddling that midcourt line. Careful to avoid a backcourt violation there. Llewellyn going around the perimeter. Defended by Devin Cambridge, inside to Dickinson, guarded by Washington. Pass into the corner for Buffkin. Buffkin short on that attempt. Rebound Dickinson. Dickinson follows it up and puts it in. Cuts the lead to 16. Hunter Dickinson urging this Michigan crowd to get on their feet. And they respond. Sun Devil on the floor there, and a shower of boos rain onto the court. Jet Howard called for the foul. That's Devin Cambridge that hit the deck. The senior from Nashville, Tennessee.
And it's not a large crowd here tonight, but it's overwhelmingly Wolverines. They made their voices heard.
And the officials will head to the monitor to take another peek at this one. Michael Irving, Chris Beaver, and Tony Henderson, our crew. They're going to look for a potential flagrant foul here. 16:46 to go. Wolverines down 50-34. And just when the Wolverines start to get a little energy out of this crowd, a little momentum, a stoppage in play puts a damper on that.
Yep, only down by 16 now. That is a closer margin than we've seen in quite a while, but this stoppage is surely to affect some momentum. Arizona State coming out of the gate shooting a lot of twos in the second half. They're still stuck on that 8 for 14 mark from 3, which is obviously very good, 57%. Michigan only 2 of 11. Michigan kind of bucked the trend of not being a great free throw or three-point shooting team last night. Shot well in the second half, but this is not a team that can be expected to depend on their outside shooting. It needs to come from the out or from the inside out. Haven't been able to get those inside buckets to go so far.
And the Sun Devils, obviously that red-hot shooting in the first half. Still a lot of basketball left in this game. Definitely not a open and shut case at this point by any means.
Well,
but if the Wolverines are going to make a comeback here, they've got to start to find a rhythm offensively.
Looks like this review will be another minute. Kelin, what was your favorite part of being in Manhattan today?
It's a good question. Central Park was a lot of fun.
First time. I've been here once before.
Times Square was pretty cool. Getting to interact with some of the different characters you see out there was a unique experience, to say the least. I thought we got pretty good at navigating the subways, though.
That was fun. The subways are fun. That's a fun game.
And we get the word from our officiating crew, Jet Howard's foul, deemed a common foul. Nothing extra there. No extracurriculars going on. And we resume play. Desmond Cambridge finds Washington. Washington dribble handoff to Frankie Collins. Collins finds Horn. Horn lobs it up high, and it's thrown down hard. Warren Washington finishes it off. Athletic flush from the big man.
I'd call that a grizzly bear move.
And that's sure to flip the momentum if there was any going the Wolverines' way. Jet Howard in the corner, swings it. Arizona State bench wanted to travel there, won't get it. 14 on the shot clock as it's knocked out of bounds by the Sun Devils.
And that kind of dunk is sapping away momentum. The Wolverines desperately need to be able to get this lead a little bit more manageable.
Llewellyn, guarded by Collins. He'll fade away from the mid-range. Long on that one. Just nicked the back iron. Horn rebounded it and sends it up to Collins. Collins flips it back to Horn. Horn at the top of the key. Finds Cambridge. Cambridge between the legs. Lost it for a second. Guarded by Howard. Horn coming off a screen from Washington. Tough shot from DJ Horn, and it won't go. Good rebound by Terrence Williams. This action on the perimeter for Arizona State has been really effective so far tonight. Buffkin gets a screen from Dickinson into the lane. Kobe Buffkin finishes and one. Through the contact, Kobe Buffkin. He finds his first made basket of the night. He's on the scoreboard. Under 16 media timeout.
And Michigan really needs that type of bucket from Kobe Buffkin. 1 of 7 to this point. For this whole season, I believe he's the X factor of this team. If he plays well, the Wolverines play well. If he plays poorly, Wolverines are in trouble. Finally gets his first bucket, has a chance for a third, and that was Frankie Collins' third foul. So with about 15 minutes remaining in the second half, that'll be a space to watch as Collins with 3 needs to play either conservatively on defense or head coach Bobby Hurley is going to have to lessen his minutes.
And not that that's a huge issue for Arizona State, because his backup, Austin Nunez, had 11 points in that first half on very efficient shooting.
I do think one thing better that Michigan has done tonight compared to last night is staying out of foul trouble. Jet was in foul trouble early. Hunter Dickinson picked up some fouls. Kobe Buffkin picked up some fouls. They were playing close to the edge, and it was against the Pitt team who was also playing physically. But Michigan's cleaned that up tonight. Their leader in personal fouls only has 2, and it is Jet Howard. But other than that, Dickinson's got 1. Terrace Reed has 1. Only 14 fouls 25 minutes into a game is a pretty good number to sit at, but that's one of the only numbers in this game for Michigan that looks any good.
And the Wolverines only 2 of 11 from beyond the arc so far tonight. They've struggled from downtown this season at times. When they're hot, but when they're cold, and right now is one of these cold stretches for this Michigan team. 52-36. Wolverines down big. 15:33 to go.
I will say the choice of tunes in Barclays Center throughout the past 2 days has been great. They've been great at getting the crowd into it. And this is an NBA PA system. I think it's different at a college arena, but the NBA is in the business of shaking bass while you're sitting in your seat.
And that's exactly right, William. Despite a small crowd not even filling out the lower bowl tonight, there's still been a decent energy here at the Barclays Center.
This has been one of the loudest basketball games I've been to when the music is going. It is extremely loud.
Buffkin at the free throw line for the tail end of the and one here. Buffkin just made his first basket of the game, 1 for 7 now. Hasn't attempted a free throw yet. The Wolverines still a dreadful 10 of 17 from the line. Kobe Buffkin's attempt at the three-point play. He converts it, rattles it home. And just like that, the Wolverines continue to chip away at this lead. Now down to 15. It's Horn inside. Nice pass to Nunez as Collins has taken a seat on the bench with his foul trouble. Cambridge hoists up a 3 and hits another one. Desmond Cambridge has been red hot from beyond the arc tonight. As he sinks another one, he's 3 for 5 from downtown. Llewellyn guarded by Cambridge, finds Howard. Howard inside to Dickinson. Dickinson blocked from behind by Devin Cambridge. The brothers combining for a made 3 on one end and then a defensive block on the other. The officials rule it a jump ball. And Michigan with possession will inbound from the baseline. Doug McDaniel, the freshman point guard, checks in for Michigan.
This is some of the best defense I've seen played on Hunter Dickinson in his Michigan career.
I would have to agree with that. Washington has done a tremendous job. Buffkin trying to get into the lane. He does. Hits the deck and draws another foul. I think they're going to get Cambridge there for the bump.
Arizona State foul.
So Buffkin getting more aggressive. I think we saw him settling for jump shots earlier, which isn't his game. He's a slasher. He needs to get inside. It works to draw fouls. It would be better to convert at the cup, but getting back to the line, he just converted a free throw. Let's see it.
And Juwan Howard visibly pleased with that result there, clapping from the sideline, wanting his team to be more aggressive here, and they are. Buffkin converts on the first free throw. Spinning it in his hand, takes one dribble, bends, releases, and sinks the second. Scores 55-39, just under 15 minutes of play remaining. Austin Nunez, guarded by Doug McDaniel, just on the near side of half court. Wolverines applying a little bit of pressure. Horn, defended by Buffkin. Dribbles it back out between his legs a couple of times, trying to size up Buffkin here. Gets a screen from Washington. Nice defense from Kobe Buffkin, but a 3 from Cambridge yet again. Desmond Cambridge cannot miss from beyond the arc. 4 for 6 from downtown, extending that lead for Arizona State.
ASU is now shooting 63% from 3. They can't miss either as a team.
McDaniel trying to find his way into the lane. Terrence Williams will hoist up a three on the other end. Won't go. Long rebound back out to Buffkin. Buffkin gets his man in the air, and that is rejected. Warren Washington skies to swat that back. Doug McDaniel snags the offensive rebound and able to float that in for two, but that rim protecting presence from Washington has definitely been felt tonight.
It was another aggressive drive by Kobe Buffkin, but nothing you can do about that.
A couple of blocks there now from Washington, and he's done more than that, making life difficult for Dickinson inside. Basket cut there. Desmond Cambridge keeps it going, slips behind the defense for a two-handed flush. Lead back up to 19 for ASU. McDaniel gets a couple of screens. He'll hoist up a three. Won't go. Bounces off the back iron. Rebound to Washington. Physical rebound there from the big fella. Cambridge elects to pass back out, and it's stolen by Buffkin. Buffkin in transition to Williams, and he has it poked away out of bounds. Desmond Cambridge, who else with the active hands to knock it out?
Washington was there too on defense. I mean, look at how this team is playing. This is a team, if they go far, Bobby Hurley in the last few years at Arizona State has not had much success. They haven't made the tournament since 2019. But if this team can play this level of defense throughout the season, especially in a weaker Pac-12, sky's the limit in a season where Bobby Hurley has to win.
And Warren Washington, the Nevada transfer, has been excellent around the rim tonight. Wolverines just barely get it in. Jace Howard now into the game for his brother Jet, looking to provide a defensive spark. McDaniel into the lane, kicks it back out to Williams, to Buffkin. Buffkin inside to Dickinson. Dickinson right over the top of the freshman Duke Brennan. And Dickinson trying to get in rhythm here. He leads the Wolverines with 14. Inside is Nunez. Nunez flips it out. Catch and shoot there. Not a great shot. Likely a heat check from Desmond Cambridge. Can't get it to fall. Wolverines go the other direction. And nice interior defense. It's Brennan and Gaffney combining on the stop on Terrence Williams. Doug McDaniel defending Nunez up top from the logo. Over to Luther Muhammad. Muhammad guarded by Buffkin, flips it over to Nunez. Nunez to Gaffney. Back to Desmond Cambridge. Cambridge, tough shot. Draws the foul on Terrence Williams. Desmond Cambridge hung in the air. Shot rimmed out, but Terrence Williams bumped him. Cambridge will go to the free throw line for a pair. 12:03 to go, 60-43, pending two free throws from Cambridge.
And ASU was kind of playing with their food a little bit a couple minutes ago, but they put the foot back on the gas and haven't looked back since. Got back aggressive, playing suffocating defense inside. Michigan has no answers on either side of the court right now.
And this is by far the best offensive output we've seen from Arizona State so far this season. As a team, they had not shot it particularly well from deep coming into this game. Tonight, that has not been the case. Still red hot from beyond the arc. Up to about 59% from downtown. A pair of free throws are good as Collins checks back into the game for Cambridge. And Doug McDaniel still getting a lot of run at the point guard position for Juwan Howard. McDaniel, crossover move into the lane, forced back out. Dickinson trying to get position on Duke Brennan. Brennan doing a great job of fronting the big fella. Whistle blows. And they'll get Collins, that's his fourth. And as a team so far this season coming into this game, Arizona State shooting it under 30% from three, under 40% as a team from the field.
Those two numbers are going to skyrocket after this game with how they've played.
They have more than found their rhythm against the Wolverines. And they've been solid so far this season.
It's just been a hot shooting performance. They closed last night hot. You look at any of the other stats, they're equal in turnovers. Michigan has one more rebound, but 6 more offensive boards. only 2 less assists. Arizona State does have those 4 blocks, which is illustrative of their defensive effort, but these two teams aren't separated by tons other than the fact that that Michigan can't make shots at the level of Arizona State, and Arizona State is out shooting what they normally would.
And the Sun Devils 3-1 on the season, their lone loss coming at Texas Southern, a 1-point overtime loss for Arizona State in which they led by 12 at one point. A great comeback from Texas Southern made that one a game, and other than that, they've been really solid this year. We've talked about their comeback last night against VCU, 22-7 run to put that game away in the second half. It's been all Arizona State here so far, 62-43. Just under 12 minutes of game time left. At the under 12 media timeout, leading the way for Arizona State from the scoring department, it's been Desmond Cambridge, the grad transfer, started his career off at Brown, then went to Nevada and joined his teammate Warren Washington in the portal as they both decided to head for Tempe, and that's been a solid decision so far. Desmond Cambridge obviously uniting with his brother, Devin Cambridge, the Auburn transfer this season under Bobby Hurley's tutelage. As we look to get back to the action here, Horn with 12 and Nunez with 11 for Arizona State. For the Wolverines, it's been Hunter Dickinson in the lead with 14. Outside of Dickinson and Jet Howard's 12, no Wolverine with more than 5.
DJ Horn back for the Sun Devils.
Terrence Williams will inbound, flips it into Doug McDaniel. McDaniel just inside a half court. Nunez defending with the 4 fouls on Frankie Collins. He's on the bench. The freshman Nunez getting some extra run. Jace Howard on the near side wing to Doug McDaniel at the top of the key. Shot clock running down to 4. Kick out Dickinson. He'll have to pull it. Rips a 3. Won't go. McDaniel quick to get up off the floor but can't get the board. Nunez beat him to it. Nunez swiftly down the floor. Slows it down. Flips it up. Top of the key, it's Gaffney. Dickinson defending. He's going to sag off a little bit. Gaffney waiting for the play to develop. Has Nunez on the wing. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Top of the key, Horn. Horn makes his move on McDaniel. Hesitation, half spin, steps it back. Looking to attack here in the lane. Floats and hits at the buzzer. DJ Horn has been just as impressive as any other Sun Devil tonight. He's got 14, 50% from the field, 50% from deep. And a lot of those have been really tough shots. Dickinson inside, and he is harassed by a trio of Sun Devil defenders. Getting back to Horn, the Illinois State transfer decides to head out west to the Pac-12, and the junior seems to have made a good decision. He's fitting in nicely to a starting 2-guard role on this team. Dickinson inside. They double him again. Gaffney able to affect that shot, and Dickinson misses. 10:30 to go, 64-43 Sun Devils. Nunez with the freshman McDaniel defending in the corner. It's Horn. Horn inside to Duke Brennan. Duke Brennan draws the foul on Dickinson. Dickinson has to look up at the scoreboard for a replay to try to get a second view at that one. He thought he got all ball. On the reach in there, officials disagree. Third foul on the Wolverines this half. Terrace Reed checks in for the Wolverines as Dickinson takes a seat on the bench. McDaniel defending Nunez. Shot clock at 12. Top of the key, they go to Horn. Who else? Defended by Jace Howard. Scoops it and scores it. Got right by the junior wing for Michigan, straight to the cup, and finished with the underhand flip. 66 points now for the Sun Devils and 16 for Horn. McDaniel down the lane. Too strong on the layup. Out in transition for Nunez. Baker running with him. Tough finish for Nunez. He goes under the basket reverse style for the deuce.
No answers. Absolutely no answers for the Wolverines on the Sun Devils right now.
McDaniel, Reed at the top of the key, just inside the three-point line. Tries to face up on Duke Brennan, the freshman forward. McDaniel blows by his man, floats it up, and that rims out. Reed unable to haul in the board. Saved for a second by Williams, and the hustle from the Wolverines does not pay off. Jace Howard laid out for it, but couldn't keep it in place. Sun Devils will take it the other direction, and Jawan Howard forced to use one of those timeouts. 2 remaining for the Wolverines. 9:20 to go. You have to think if they're going to make a run, it's got to be right now, down 25.
Yeah, you'd have to think that. If they're down 25, they'd have to do something with 9 minutes left. But right now, it doesn't seem possible. Arizona State is shooting so ridiculously well. Michigan shooting so below their season averages, and nothing's really changed. Like we said earlier, 5 minutes into the game when Arizona State came out to such a hot start, like the law of averages, we're going to have to tone those down. Michigan's shooting percentage would come up, but it just hasn't happened. Michigan's hovered around the same field goal percentage, so is Arizona State.
And the Wolverines shooting a dreadful under 30% from the field today. They're 14 of 47. Under 15% from 3, 2 of 14. And shooting a mere 65% from the free throw line. Compare that to the Sun Devils, shooting close to 59% from the field and from 3. And they haven't missed a free throw. They're 4 of 4 from the line. 5 blocks around the rim for Arizona State, 0 for Michigan. Those have been the big differences in this game, and they've showed in a big way. And William, these teams, they've had the same amount of shots, essentially. The Wolverines actually have had one more shot than Arizona State. It's just Arizona State's been far more efficient.
That's crazy because Michigan has 16 more free throw attempts than Arizona State as well. So they're getting out and running, just haven't been able to do anything with it. And Dickinson, this 6 of 14 performance, we said it earlier, this is probably the best defense. He has 14 points, but this is the best defense you could play against him. The Wolverines really have no answers outside of Hunter, so they're going to get it into him no matter what. But the defense by Warren Washington, like just the collapsing nature of the defense. The Cambridge brothers also getting in there, active hands, making steals, getting balls knocked out of the air. Arizona State has played one of the most complete basketball games I've ever seen in my whole time watching basketball. They're doing everything right offensively and defensively.
Another 8-0 run for the Sun Devils. Wolverines 0 for their last 5, 1 for their last 7. 3-minute, 30-second scoring drought for Michigan. And that's been a common theme tonight, as Luther Muhammad will dribble it up the floor for Arizona State.
And ASU did limit VCU to no field goals in the last 9 minutes last night, so another trend Michigan wants to avoid.
Luther at the top of the key. Dribbles to his right. Kicks it back out to Nunez. The freshman gets a screen from his freshman teammate, Duke Brennan. Pull up 3. Horn sinks it. It's just been that kind of night from the Sun Devils and DJ Horn. DJ Horn stares down at his hand as he walks back. And Doug McDaniel takes it down for Michigan. Hot shooting continues for the Sun Devils. They're over 61% from 3. Top of the key, it's McDaniel. McDaniel over to Terrence Williams. Williams crossover, step back. Steps back again, shoots a tough mid-range J and sinks it. Terrence Williams drops his first shot of the night. He's 1 for 4 from the field. And uncharacteristic to see the junior captain for Michigan getting into the scorebook with about 8 minutes to go in the contest. Gaffney to Nunez. Nunez back to Gaffney. He's on the left wing, guarded by Howard. He'll take Howard off the dribble. Stonewalled, kicks it back out. Luther Muhammad into the lane. Swatted by Terrace Reed. Reed hits the deck. And they'll call a foul on Reed.
Michigan foul was on 25.
Under 8-minute media timeout as we take another break. William, looking forward for Michigan, they've got a couple of games before that next key matchup against Virginia, Ohio and Jackson State, the next two matchups. And then they welcome the Virginia Cavaliers to Ann Arbor on November 29th. What needs to change in these next two games for the Wolverines so they don't get embarrassed on the national stage?
Well, those are essentially tune-up games against the Bobcats and the Jackson State Tigers, I believe. They need to clean up the slow starts. We've seen it the past 3 games for the Wolverines, coming out of the gate slow, sluggish. Unfortunately for Michigan tonight, this has been an instance where coming out of the gate slow has really hampered them because they haven't been able to get out of the gates at all throughout this game. They need to clean that up. They need to shoot better. They need to shoot better from the free throw line especially. This has been terrible free throw shooting to watch over the past 3 games because Michigan is just leaving the easiest points on the table. They could have easily had 100 points against Pitt if they shot better from the line.
That's absolutely right, William. The Wolverines' free throw woes flat out cannot continue. And I've said it before, and I'll continue to say it because as somebody that watches a lot of basketball and is a fan of the game, there's nothing more frustrating than watching teams miss free throws, especially down the stretch of a game, because they are free points that you're given. And there is no excuse at the Division I level to miss this many. And against a well-coached team like Virginia, missing free throws, they'll take advantage. Tony Bennett knows how to take advantage of a team that's not confident from the free throw line. And not that this game's completely over, but if you're looking forward to this upcoming schedule for Michigan, Virginia's that next key game, and then after that, upcoming is Kentucky and London. That's going to be a big test as well, and you just saw our in-state rival and a fellow Big Ten team, Michigan State, knock off the Wildcats in double overtime. So that'll be a good measuring stick for the Wolverines to kind of compare themselves to the rest of the Big Ten and some of their other rivals.
And I'll plug the Ball Control podcast, which is yet to release an actual episode, but that's something we've been working on. The first episode got corrupted. In that first episode that no longer exists, I did predict Michigan State to win the Big Ten, and they look really good. Gonzaga did lose by a lot to Texas, but the Spartans beat Kentucky, and I think they have a very talented roster from top to bottom.
I'm going to have to agree with you, William. Michigan State has looked really solid, maybe the best unranked team we've seen in a long time. Knocks off the number 4 Wildcats in that Champions Classic. The Wolverines getting to work here in the Legends Classic championship game. Terrace Reed on that low block going to work. And part of this game plan for Bobby Hurley has been to harass Michigan bigs with their back to the basket.
Those post doubles have been really effective. Those guards are getting their hands in, disrupting whatever Terrace Reed or Hunter Dickinson wants to do. And it ends up with a foul there, but I'd still call that really good defense.
And we saw Pitt try to do the same thing last night. Didn't work out too well.
They left shooters open.
And Baker pump fakes there, gets Horn in the air. Can't hit on the mid-range J off the pump fake. Whistle blows, foul on the Sun Devils. And going back to what you're talking about with Pitt, you were right, they left shooters open, and Dickinson was still able to see over the whole defense and find the open shooters. Now Arizona State, with some more size and length and better personnel, they're able to harass him and prevent him from finding these open shooters.
And while Pitt does have 2 7-footers, the Diaz-Graham brothers, but they aren't built like Warren Washington is built. You don't want to put those guys on Hunter Dickinson. So matching up against John Hughley or Federico in that game last night, Dickinson was able to survey the court. Hasn't been able to do it against the caliber of defender that Warren Washington is.
And that's an injured Hughley at that, as Jace Howard rims out on a free throw there. 73-46 our score, under 7:30 to go. Muhammad dumps it back to Nunez. Bufkin and Terrence Williams head to the scorer's table for Michigan. Cambridge dribbling to the right side, dumps it off for Muhammad. Muhammad into the lane, snatches it back. Floater, got it, and one. It's been all Arizona State all night. Luther Muhammad working back and forth on Jace Howard. Got the shot, got the harm. And he'll head to the charity stripe to look to complete the three-point play.
We've got two former Buckeyes on the court right now. And you have to be sure, Luther Muhammad played in Columbus for 2 seasons. This is another personal type game for Muhammad.
Somebody the Wolverines are familiar with. Getting to see him in some non-conference action. Buffkin potentially had a chance there, didn't take it. Passed it back to Llewellyn, who has it at the top of the key now, inside Dickinson. Harassed yet again, an excellent double from these guards for Arizona State, and Desmond Cambridge clapping it up as he heads back down the floor. Bobby Hurley has to be thrilled with his guards' defensive performance tonight. Cambridge gets it on the wing. He'll look to score after getting the stop there. He's fouled by Llewellyn. That's Llewellyn's first foul.
Still sublime defense being played inside by Arizona State. Not only Warren Washington, but like we said, those doubling guards come down, and it's hard to beat them.
And Juwan Howard has not had any answers for this suffocating Arizona State defense. It's one thing to not be able to answer for the hot shooting. It's another thing on the offensive side of the ball to continue to struggle. Nunez finds the loose ball, flips it up, flips it in. Austin Nunez, the freshman, continues to excite. He has 15. He's been nothing short of fantastic. About 6 minutes to go. 78-46. Buffkin inside Dickinson. Doubled again, and it's poked out. Dickinson has had a lot of trouble tonight with these doubles. In transition, Luther Muhammad can't get it to go. Offensive rebound for the Sun Devils, and he walked. Clear travel there from Devin Cambridge.
And a worrying thing about these double teams for Michigan, teams are going to get this film. Pitt did this last night, and Arizona State obviously saw that. You're going to come out and do the exact same thing early. It took Pitt a little bit to start doubling because Michigan doesn't really have the outside shooting to combat that. And for Michigan in Big Ten play, they're going to have a tough time being able to stop those defenses from doing the same to Hunter Dickinson.
And as William was discussing there, Jalen Llewellyn was locked up on the inbound by Devin Cambridge one-on-one. Terrence Williams forced to use a timeout. Zero separation from the defender. Your senior guard, grad transfer, unable to get open on the press there, forcing you to use your second to last timeout. And 5:53 to go.
Up by 32, Arizona State still bringing the intensity. I mean, it's been clinical, surgical, what Arizona State has done to Michigan tonight. They've pushed all the right buttons to stop anything the Wolverines want to do. They're 30 of 50 from the field, 11 of 18 from 3. That's absolutely ridiculous, and they're perfect from the line.
Bobby Hurley's going to be quite happy on this long plane ride back to Tempe with his team. Buffkin flips it back. Jet Howard hoists up a 3. He can't get it to drop. Rebound goes to Frankie Collins. Nice outlet pass up the floor to Devin Cambridge. Cambridge kicks it out to his brother Desmond. Desmond hoists up another 3. Won't go. Surprised not to see that one drop. Dickinson didn't have his hand up, and Cambridge just let it fly. Llewellyn, top of the key, guarded by Luther Muhammad, who slaps the floor. Up 32 with 5 minutes to go. It's been that kind of intensity. Buffkin's 3 won't go. Off back iron, rebound, Devin Cambridge. He'll wait for numbers, and has it poked away by Buffkin. Buffkin going the other direction for Michigan. Kobe Buffkin into the lane. Passes batted right back to him. Llewellyn. He'll hoist up a 3, short. Rebound, Terrence Williams. He puts it up and in. 48 now for Michigan, cutting the lead to 30.
And Coach Juwan Howard's going to start emptying his bench. Yusuf Kayat's going to see some minutes. He played last night in that blowout against Pitt.
And Greg Glenn getting his first action in Brooklyn. Will Cheddar as well heading to the scorer's table. Looks like that'll be the night for these Michigan starters. As Frankie Collins scoops up a shot. He's got to feel really good about his performance and his team's performance as well. I'm sure he would have liked to stay out of the foul trouble that he got into as Howard hoists up a three. Won't go. Collins only 2 for 5 from the field for 4 points, but he had 5 assists, couple of rebounds. Played excellent defense all night.
They also welcome 23, Greg Glenn III.
Doug McDaniel, Greg Glenn, Will Cheddar, Yusuf Kayat, and Terrace Reed, the 5 for Michigan. Really big lineup on the floor. Kayat playing the 2, Cheddar at the 3. Kayat more a traditional 3-4 combo. Cheddar more of a traditional 4 for Michigan. They're going to be playing more on the perimeter now with Glenn and Reed into the game. McDaniel the lone true guard. Still Collins, Luther Muhammad, both the Cambridge brothers, and Gaffney on the floor for the Sun Devils and Bobby Hurley's squad. McDaniel will hoist up a deep 3 and fills it up. Doug McDaniel from well beyond the arc there will sink it. And Collins fighting through the 3/4 court pressure for McDaniel. Cambridge into the lane, draws a foul. 3:24 to go in the contest, 80-51 is the score. William, you've got to think that Arizona State's going to be getting some more votes in this next AP poll.
Well, the problem is they lost to a mid-major team in overtime. And
now, granted, Texas Southern did make the tournament last year and is a good team, but I
don't know necessarily. Michigan was favored coming into this tournament, and being blown out like this, that's a bad omen, to be honest. I mean, I don't want to get really into it, but they need to beat teams like this that have lost to a team like Texas Southern. But they'll have time to regroup, to fix up games later at Chrysler in the month, and then Virginia, then Kentucky, then Big Ten.
And Virginia and Kentucky are going to be 2 good measuring sticks because Michigan's going to have some time here to get home, get back to Ann Arbor, get back in the lab, and try to iron some of these kinks out. And most chiefly of those has to be free throws.
They're real ranked teams. Everyone expected Virginia and Kentucky to be ranked coming into the year. Maybe Arizona State makes a move towards the end of the season. And who knows if Michigan is a real ranked team, ranked 20th right now. But first real test here against Arizona State, I think.
Ranked coming into the season off of projections, these rankings really don't mean a whole lot. Michigan State unranked, clearly one of the top 25 teams in the country, but that counts as a unranked loss for Kentucky.
By the time the tournament comes around, they'll measure those Q1, Q2, Q3 wins, but yeah, makes sense. Anyways, games in hand for the Sun Devils. I just want to say this has been one of the coolest things I've ever done in college, being able to come here to Brooklyn. For who we have left, I know Dependent Fanatic, want to shout him out. He's got work in the morning. He's got to go to bed. He's been a mainstay in our comment section. But so much fun being out in Brooklyn.
Definitely an awesome experience to get to skip class for a couple of days
and be in the city.
Head down to the Big Apple. It was weird walking around the city as Devin Cambridge sinks his first free throw, thinking all my roommates are just in class right now and I'm in Times Square.
Talking to Elmo and Bumblebee and the Statue of Liberty. We saw every character today.
Second free throw is good as sounds like some Beat Ohio chants coming from the remaining Michigan faithful. 82-51. McDaniel dribbling around the perimeter. Cheddar hoists up a 3. Good contest from Desmond Cambridge as they flip it back to Collins. Still same lineup, a lot of starters in the game for Bobby Hurley. No one at the scorer's table. Collins gets a screen. between his legs, crossover into the lane. Nice pass to the corner. They flip it around.
I think he was out of bounds over there.
Wolverines take possession. Couple of warm-up shirts coming off on the Arizona State bench.
Welcome to the floor for the Sun Devils. Number 15.
Making change here.
Olmstead.
John Olmstead, the 6'10 senior, checks in for Arizona State, his first of the night. Doug McDaniel, guarded by Collins, inside to Terrace Reed. Greg Glenn makes a nice back cut, but they don't find Reed, using his body and strength to move Olmstead. Flips it up for two. 2:30 to go. Luther Muhammad on the wing, gets by Kayet. Tough finish, draws a foul. He'll head to the stripe for a pair. Both teams in the bonus, not that it matters. That was a shooting foul anyways.
Michigan foul whistled on 32.
That'll go on Terrace Reed. That's Reed's second of the night.
We're getting to the point where it looks like a practice right now. The stands have cleared out so much here at Barclays Center.
First free throw is good from Muhammad. And William and I know I can speak for my partner when I say this, how pleased we've been to be able to cover Michigan men's basketball for these past 3 games. Getting the chance to head down to Little Caesars Arena for an awesome matchup against Eastern. That was a great game to be a part of. And then obviously getting to come to Brooklyn for this incredible tournament.
I mean, it's been so much fun, and Michigan getting their bench players some burn in the opposite of what the game was last night. But the basketball has been a nice treat to the experience we've got to have in the city.
Olmstead rejects Greg Glenn there around the cup. Flip out to Olmstead. He gives it back to Muhammad. Muhammad defended by the freshman Doug McDaniel. Under 2 minutes to go here. Stands are really thinning out here in Brooklyn. Michigan harassing. That's a foul on Greg Glenn. Bobby Hurley, the son of the head coach, in the game. The point guard.
That's definitely a learning moment for Greg Glenn. That shot clock was down to 3, and he reached on that.
And I'm sure that's something that this coaching staff will discuss with him.
And this is really beneficial time for Michigan to be able to get these bench players some minutes.
Kayet and Reed nearly knocked that free throw rebound out of bounds. Reed's able to haul it in. McDaniel flips it up high for Terrace Reed, motioning for Kayet to clear out. Reed hits the deck, trying to spin in on Brennan. Under 1:30.
The post defense from Arizona State, I mean, Brennan is just a smaller guy than Hunter Dickinson was. Hunter Dickinson's been able to take advantage of that, but anyone else that's gotten into the paint, Reed, Dickinson against a guy like Wendell Washington, it's been a clinic for Arizona State on defense down low. It's really impactful in this game because that's how Michigan gets a lot of their offense, and it's been tough for them to break that.
And Arizona State doesn't have a field goal in the last 3 minutes. And late in the game, their efficiency numbers will drop a little bit, but do not be mistaken. This was a team that shot 60% from the field and essentially 60% from 3 as well. Hyper-efficient night from the Sun Devils as they drop 84 with about 80 seconds remaining on Michigan. And on the other side, it was stifling defense. Wolverines held to 55. That's their lowest total of the season so far. As Bobby Hurley finally starts to empty his bench. Micah Burno into the game. The senior guard. Muhammad falls away and sinks it. Right over the top of Doug McDaniel. Under a minute to go here from Brooklyn. McDaniel makes a couple of moves, gets a double screen from Kayet and Reed. Kayet, he'll hoist up a 3 and drills it. Yusuf Kayet sinks that one. I believe that's his first three-pointer at the collegiate level. Glenn harassing Burno, poked it away. Under 30 seconds as a whistle blows on Greg Glenn, his second foul.
Wolverines foul whistle on 23, Greg Glenn the third.
And William, for Arizona State going forward, this is a team that looks like they could be competitive in Big 12 play. A very strong Big 12.
I said before, this team hasn't made the tournament since 2019. They made the first 4 the year before that, but both times they were 11 seeds. Bobby Hurley's been here for a long time, since 2015, but he hasn't been able to put anything of real substance together. This is a team that hasn't won 25 games since 2008. That was James Harden's year. And he's got to he spent the last 2 years under 500. He's got to make a move.
Sun Devils split him at the line. That was Burno shooting. He goes 1 for 2 and a goaltend called. Will Cheddar will get credited for 2 points there as Brennan came in a bit late to knock that one away. Shot clock turned off. Sun Devils look like they're just going to dribble this one out. McDaniel comes from behind and steals it. He'll put up a 3. No good. Rebound Greg Glenn. And Bobby Hurley kind of looking over at Juwan Howard as the Wolverines full court pressing with 5 seconds to go in a 30-point game. Glenn rips it away. Buzzer sounds. And Duke Brennan swatted away Glenn's shot at the buzzer. That's our final as Glenn and Brennan have to be separated. Some jawing at the end there as the Sun Devils were not appreciative of the late game antics from Michigan. That's our final, though, from the Barclays Center. 87 Arizona State, 62 Michigan Wolverines. Michigan drops the championship game of the Legends Classic to Arizona State. Wolverines will head back home to Ann Arbor to take on the Ohio Bobcats in their next contest. WCBN Sports will have coverage of that. William, any closing thoughts from Brooklyn?
Don't do this again, Michigan. You cannot shoot like this, and you cannot let up a shooting performance. I think if you play this game 10 more times, the results are a lot closer, but that doesn't give enough credit to Arizona State's defense. It's not that Michigan just shot poorly. Arizona State did play great defense, and I think they're going to be a threat in the Pac-12, but Michigan, 4 of 22 from 3, that's inexcusable. Missed 8 foul shots. The jump shooting has to be better for Michigan down the stretch of this season.
And the trophy presentation ceremony getting set up for the Sun Devils. In the background, the Wolverines file in somberly to the locker room. It's all forks up here from Brooklyn. With that, WCBN Sports would like to thank you for tuning in to our coverage of the Legends Classic tournament from Brooklyn, New York. I'm Kelin Flynn for my partner, William Gregory. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll leave you as we always do with a good night, and go blue.